I've got a realistic way you could create multiple streams of income with partnering with me and the different businesses I own, some alone and some I own with business partners. Click the link. You only have 1 day left, not even 24 hours. Walking through fields of wheat, barley, oats on my farm here. And it just made me think about everything I learned from my first mentor. You see, most people know me as like a businessman, social media, but they don't realize my first mentor was a farmer. In fact, I own this farm here. His farm's not too far away. And I'll tell you this, farming is not, applicable to most people, but when it comes to making money, common sense isn't there anymore because we're disconnected from reality. One of the reasons that I come to the farm is to get reconnected. And I'll tell you, you got to plant seeds. You want to be making more money, you got to plant seeds. Obviously not literal seeds, but most people I know are like, Ty, I'm broke. And I'm going, okay, what did you plant last month? Mentally, financially, that's going to pay off this month. Oh, well, blah, blah, blah. People always got excuses. So I highly recommend that this be your year. The year that you plant at least 3 seeds, 3 different cash flow sources, even if they start out slow. That's the thing. People are going, oh, like, how to make $1 million overnight? I'm going, well, that happens occasionally, but not often. Very few people make $1 million overnight. There's a guy who made $1 billion in 9 months who started Jet.com. That's probably the fastest rags to riches story. Kylie Jenner became a billionaire in a year or 2 from her makeup line. But in general, you plant seeds and they need time. But the key thing is, the quicker you get them planted, the better. When it comes to multiple streams of cash flow, the average millionaire has 3. And the average millionaire takes about 12 to 20 years to build those 3 streams of income. The problem is that discourages most people because that's too long. So what I'm all about and what I've been about is how can I cut the learning curve? So let me just give you a couple things, 3 things on how to cut the learning curve to increase your cash flow, increase your bank balance. The first thing is very, very, very important that you just start. And so many people are skeptical. But what's that Chinese saying? The journey of 1,000 steps, begins with the first step. I probably butchered that saying, but try something. I tell people, try to make your first $100 a month. Then once you figure that out, make the first 1,000. From there, your first 10,000. From there, your first 100,000. Then you can go on and try to make $1 million a month. But step by step, you get ahead. Plant the seeds. Let them have a little bit of time. Number 2 that I think is important to increasing your cash flow is, as you can see here, I have oats. This is wheat, and that's barley over there. You want to plant multiple seeds. Now, there is a danger in doing too many things at once and you get distracted and you don't do any of them well. But there's also a danger of putting all your eggs in one basket. So it's kind of a toss-up. I was actually just thinking the other day, in hindsight, I wish I had planted, like I built 2 businesses. I had 2 streams of income. And I was like, there's no reason I shouldn't have had 3 in hindsight. So take it from me in hindsight. 3 seeds can be planted. Obviously, you can focus on one more than the other if it's doing better. And then number 3, you need realistic ways to make money. So realistic ways are a job, okay? By the way, let me say what's not realistic. Thinking that just because you have a college degree in business administration or even an MBA, if you think that's a guarantee that you're going to make money in the modern world, I got a bridge to sell you. You're probably a sucker. You've been suckered. By the way, this is oats. It's for oatmeal. I'm going to harvest this organic oats that I grew. So my recommendation is realistic things that can make money. So there's 3 things that I know can make money. Selling a physical product, selling a digital service, a digital product, and selling a service, specifically, ideally, to business owners. That's the best start. 1 more day to get in the test group. So I created a video. So let me step back. I created a test group. Go watch the explanation of how this test group works. But I put together, I'll just give you a 4th thing here before I say this. Quickest, most realistic way to make money is make money with somebody who's already making money. That's what's not talked about. Bill Gates, who was the richest man in the world for 20 years, he started, Paul Allen was older than him and already had momentum. You see, like, partner with people who already have momentum. That's what I'm trying to say. All these people out there are going, Ty, how do I start a business from scratch? Well, businesses from scratch are harder. It's like building a house from scratch versus a house where it's pretty much all done and all you got to do is put the roof on. Less work. So that's a practical thing. Find people, if you know someone in your area that's got a 7 or 8 figure business, $1 to $20 million business, partner with them. It's not as hard as you think. I partnered, my first 2 businesses were successful because I partnered with a guy named Joel Salatin and a guy named John Dewar. And they helped a lot. They cut the learning curve, did not take as long. It was not as risky. It was not as traumatic. And that's probably why I'm an entrepreneur now, because I didn't have that much, it wasn't that hard for me. I mean, it wasn't the easiest thing. It wasn't instant money, but it wasn't that hard in hindsight. Really didn't. I read people going, oh, business is so hard, everybody fails. I'm going, I realize the missing link is people aren't planting seeds quick enough. They're not realistic, and they're not doing it with somebody who's already successful. Do it with someone who's already successful. So watch this video. I recorded it's probably the best video I put out in the last 5 years. Go here. You'll have access to the test group if you want to get in, or you can just watch the free training. You have 1 day left to get in. So see you on the next page. David, I'm talking about what you told me, what was it, like 3 or 4 days ago, that you've made, what, about 600,000, you said?
Yeah, just shy of 700.
Just shy of 700. And how much have you spent out of pocket costs?
About 15 to 20,000.
15 to 20 grand. So how has that, oh, let me turn the volume up. How has that changed your life in terms of, like, what were you doing? You started with me in 2015, right?
Yep.
And you're an affiliate. You have some other streams of income, but I think being a partner with me is the largest, right? Stream of
Absolutely.
income. So what were you doing before? How's your life changed?
So huge change. Before I was in security in a kind of like an Aspen town. I don't know if you've heard of Jackson Hole.
Okay. Yep.
So I was basically on call 24/7, didn't have a life.
So you were like night security guard kind of thing or whatever?
No, digital security. So
digital security.
Yeah,
alarm
so camera systems. And a lot of those homes were vacant. So we would monitor those homes. We had to respond and address issues there.
Huh.
So it's very time consuming.
So what's your life like today?
Right now we're traveling around in a fifth wheel. We're on the coast of Washington.
Who's we? You and your wife?
My wife and I, yep, and 3 dogs.
And you're netting about $200,000 a year from the partnership. Is that roughly 150 to 200?
Yeah. Yep. Exactly.
Yeah. So
last year I did 155.
155. Cool.